You may have clicked on this video for a multitude of different reasons, but whatever the reason is, I want you to know something. The struggle or the difficult times in our life are merely a belief system that we hold about the world. Now, before you get defensive and to say, well, you don't understand my situation, you don't know the things that I'm going through, you are correct. But I want you to watch this entire thing because I want to explain to you what I mean by this struggle is just a belief system. Now, I am Arius Williams. I'm a change coach, and what I do is help people with the limiting beliefs or the fear walls that pop up in their life and either in their health, relationship, or business. So if that sounds like you and you want to work with me one-on-one, you can book a call below. But if you are going through what I call the struggle, I want you to understand something first. I have been there. Okay, I'm not speaking from a place of never having struggled, of maybe having everything taken care of, but I am speaking from a place of having recently understood the true power of the word faith and understanding how to apply it to my mindset. So therefore, I am never in a struggle. And I want to explain that to you and break it down and give you some actionable steps so that you can apply it in your life and help remove this self-limiting belief that you have about where you're at. So when we look at our life, oftentimes, when we look at it in the present or definitely when we future cast, things don't make sense. Very often when we're in the struggle, the things that we're experiencing and going through don't make sense. They don't feel good. They're not welcomed. And they can really cause some serious problems. I'll give you some real life examples. Maybe you have a large amount of debt. Maybe you have a relationship that is in a rocky place, to say the least. Maybe you have both a relationship, you have finances, but you have this gnawing feeling of being stuck, unmotivated, unfulfilled. And therefore, all of these different things are what we like to call the struggle. And the funniest thing about this, and I don't mean funny in a insensitive way, I mean interesting way, is that when we look backwards at our life and we look in hindsight, everything usually lines up. And if you say, well, that doesn't make sense, you can say, yes, it does. If you say, hey, I am now a doctor because when I was in high school, I decided I wanted to be a doctor. And then I went to college and kept the same decision and finished those school. And then I finished my doctorate. And then I went through my residency and now I'm a doctor, right? It makes sense looking back. But in the present moment, when you're having to memorize hundreds and hundreds of different terms, you're staying up late, you're making those sacrifices as a doctor, that doesn't feel as good as when you have completed it and they send you your first paycheck for that very high pay. That doesn't feel as good. But when we look back at the future, at the end, we say, oh, this all makes sense. And so the reason why we're bringing this up today is because if you're in the struggle, it may be, and I'm willing to bet, and I've seen with all of my life and with all of my clients' life and with many, many testimonies here on this same app, YouTube, is that actually the things that are the struggle or the hard times or the things that you have to learn through or go through or where you acquire the skills that take you to the place that you want to be later on in life. I will give you an example of my life. The first time I owned a business, brick and mortar location, I was 23 years old. I had never made more than $3,000 in a single month at this point. I had never ran a business, never signed a lease outside of an apartment lease. I had never hired anybody. I had never been a manager even. So I had truly not taken on this level of responsibility. And what happened? I went in with positive intention. I did research. I made adjustments and I had some success. But it wasn't all success. See, when you zoom out and look at that first year, you can see that my business that year grossed revenue of $155,000. Now, the revenue is the flashy numbers, but the profit is where it mattered. And that business at the time probably only profited that year with the $150,000 screenshot, whatever you want to call it, was only a real profit of, to me, the business owner, of 60,000, right? And where a lot of us get messed up, and where I got messed up, was things started to go wrong in my business. The customers lessened. The flow of traffic stopped. I found out that where I had put my business was not the best place in the town because I had never lived there. I also found out that what I was selling and the product I was serving was a seasonal product. So since I started my business in a hot season, I mistakenly believed that it would be that busy all the way around. And so what happened is when the winter approached, and the winter can be hypothetical, but in this case it was legitimately the winter, the sales dropped. In a matter of months, my sales went from 22,000 to 15,000 a month to 10,000 a month to 6,000. 22,000, 6,000. And when you're a business owner, you have employees, you have lots of going out costs. Even the 22,000 can feel like not much because there's a lot of responsibility. And when I was in that place, this is in November of 2019, it to me was the struggle. It was the hardest time. My bank was overdrawn. I was supposed to be this business owner. Most of my friends and family thought I was doing well. And on the inside, I felt like a failure. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like, why did this happen to me? And then fast forward a few months later, and COVID happened, right? And so the part in which I thought the struggle was just the setup for the next challenge. And when I got to the COVID situation and the world got shut down, a few months later, when they opened things up in that summer, my business was actually booming. It was doing better than it had ever done. It was so much better than pre-COVID. I was in the struggle more. So I actually, perspective-wise, thought that those months were easier than before COVID happened because I had not learned the things I needed to learn for my business in order to make it profitable, right? So I say all this, if you're somebody who's like, listen, dude, I love this video. I love that you learned in your business, but I'm not even trying to start a business. I'm just trying to get through my life. I want you to understand something, that right now in your greatest challenge, you also have an opportunity waiting for you to find it. I'll give you an example. I've said it many times on this channel, but if you never heard it, here it is. When you go to buy a new car, after you have bought the car or when you're researching it, whatever, all of a sudden your attention and awareness and something in your brain called the reticular activating system begins to notice all of the other cars in your surrounding area that are the same one. And when it does that, it's like the car that you wanted was always around you. But here's the news flash. The car was always there. The fact of the matter is, the part of your life where you did not notice the car did not make the reality of the car any different. So even if you are in a situation where your attention, your energy, your focus is being pulled into a certain struggle, into a certain situation that's not ideal, that does not mean that the solution to the problem, that the opportunity for your dreams, that the mentor that you need, that the business opportunity that you need, that the job that you want, that the therapist you need to see, that the coach that you need to have isn't already here. That it's not already within your grasp. It is. You simply need to change the belief system that you have about your reality and in your world, and all of a sudden you will begin to notice all of the different opportunities and means in which you can achieve those things. If you don't believe me, understand this is not my idea. This is not something I created. This is not something that's special for me or for my clients or for anybody who watches the videos that I watch. This has been talked about thousands and thousands of times since the beginning of time. If a human being believes that it already has something, even if it doesn't, it will acquire it. If you believe that you are somebody who has the talent to become a YouTuber and to one day be somebody who already has 1 million followers, you will make the videos, do the things, post the content, the people will come. It will happen. I'm able to speak with so much conviction because it happened to me. This YouTube channel with less than 500 subscribers has completely changed my life, and we are just getting started. And I know that the only reason that the blessings that come to me are to help other people get themselves out of the struggle, because I was holding the same belief for years. I used to hold the belief that I couldn't run my own business, that I couldn't start my own brand, that I couldn't consistently put out YouTube content, that I would never find love, that I would never have marriage, that I wouldn't have kids, that I wouldn't be able to do all these things. I've had the same beliefs. And the only difference between me now and me back then are the beliefs that I hold and know to be true about myself and the world around me. And since I know that I can change my state and therefore change my results, change my destiny, I now don't have to live under fear, guilt, shame, anxiety, depression, because this is a perfect creation. So if you are somebody who is wanting to get through your own self-belief, and you need to reframe that belief you have so that way you can start to attract abundance, attract success, fix your relationship, get back to your health, then I want you to book a call with me one-on-one, and we will meet and talk and see what level of my coaching program fits best for you. But without further ado, I want to wish you guys a final message of staying strong. The opportunity is already here. You just need to tune your awareness. Peace, love, and prosperity. I'll see you on the next one.